Hello YouTube, welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed the last episode. It was a bit different, a bit of a twist on things, I think. But that's over with. That was just for a bit of fun, something to break away and do something different a bit. Now we're back though, and we're going to be building again this episode, and I've got quite a big project. We're currently traveling along the road that leads from the south into our village. I don't think you guys have seen this part of the world at all yet. There's quite a big hole over there that I'll cover up at some point. And my initial birch forest used to be over here. It used to stretch to about in line with that oak tree over there, all the way through here, and clearly it's not there anymore. That's what prompted me to make the birch plantation over here. But ascending this little hill over here, we can just start to see where my dark oak plantation used to be. That is now gone, because we are building over here today, as one enters the village from the south. So we've got the stables on the north, and what we're doing today sits here on the south. And I was thinking that what we're doing today, goes hand in hand with our stables, hence I'm on a horse. We're going to be building today a bit of a inn. No. A tavern. No, not a tavern. Tavern involves food and drink. This is purely an inn. This is where people can come, well, where visitors to the village can come and spend the night or 2 nights, whatever. These are travelers coming by sea or coming by land on this main road that cuts through here. This is going to be over here. So I removed the dark oak plantation. And I've got a couple of ideas here. One being that this is going to be multi-storied, but it's going to be catering for a lot more people than merely just one household, as the rest of the buildings thus far have. This building will see a lot more traffic. This building will see a lot more use than the rest. So it's going to be a bit bigger, is my thought. It's not going to be quite on the road, because I want the section that sits over here, which is going to house some wagons. Probably 2 wagons. I still need to figure out how to make the wagons. Needs to be in line with the road. So we're going to come across around here, I think. This is going to be a well, not relatively. This is going to be a large structure. So I'm thinking that one corner can be over here, and then the main entrance would sit right here, with a little lobby with the receptions where you come and you claim your room. Because you can see it from the main road that cuts through the village as well, so people coming in from the docks would also see this place. And what I was thinking is that, first off, bigger corners, because this building is going to have a stone base. Right? I'm not sure whether I'm going to be using stone brick or smooth stone yet for this level. So the whole ground level of the building is not going to be wood like the rest. It's going to be, well, have larger columns like these, and it's going to be made out of either stone or stone brick, right? However wide the structure is going to be, or however deep, and however long, the whole ground floor level of this structure is going to be stone of a sort, one of the variants thereof. And then on top of that, we'll have the usual construction method of normal logs and then the wood, the stripped logs in between. I think that'll create a nice aesthetic, a bit of a change from what we have. It'll look a bit different. It'll definitely look sturdier. I think this building is meant to see a lot more traffic than the rest of the buildings would. Anyway, there sets the sun. I think that's a good cue to cut here for now, and then I will be right back with a progress report. There we go. I think this is enough to start giving you guys an idea of what I have in mind. So I'm thinking that this is a good place to bring you in for a bit of an update. I think it looks pretty good. So it's going to be a very large building. It is definitely going to be the largest building in town thus far. And I'm okay with that. This is a very prominent, important building for this town. For the trade to occur, traders need somewhere to stay. So I'm happy with this building being as big as it is. Just want to come out here. So this area over here is where I was thinking that the wagons would come. Initially I was thinking that the wagons would slot in this way. One over here and another one around here, with more of the building leaning over it, so there could be another room or two suspended over them. But now that I'm looking at this, I actually think that this makes quite a nice space for the wagons to sit in. Maybe. I'll see. I still need to figure out the wagons. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to come up with another plan. Maybe the wagons just park next to the building over here. Because I have this sneaky suspicion that wagons are probably going to be 5 blocks wide, and they need at least 1 block between them, so that becomes quite large. Anyway, stepping in, here we've got our entrance into it. I like that it's off to one side, that it's not smack bang in the middle, and that it sits on the road. So you kind of have to pass it to, travel on, or you have to walk past the road, which is a very prominent feature of the village as well, very important for the village's trade to get in here. Stepping in, you've got the little foyer with our reception desk here, and we'll probably put some shelves at the back for room keys and things to be suspended on. This side of the building, I'm thinking, is going to be the inn owner's house. So this is where the owner of the inn and his family, or her family, would live. I think this is big enough that we can make quite a nice little house out of this. These people would probably be relatively wealthy. I mean, they could afford to build the whole bottom half of their house out of stone, which I think would be quite a feat in this village. Coming up, I like how the staircase turned out. It's hidden away, subtle, yet everything works coming up to this level. I always find that staircases are horrible things. They always end up, especially if you step your walls in like this, they don't tend to work. Because what I like doing with staircases usually is L-shape them, so that they run that way and then this way, tucked up against the wall, so that they're not as in the way, because staircases can be very troublesome. They can be very big. They can take up a lot of space if you're not careful with them. And that would not have worked in this instance because my walls step up. This is actually a wall above me. And that would not have worked if I had just tucked the corner and gone up, because you'd hit your head against the wall. But this, I think, is a nice compromise. It's still tucked up against the wall on that side, and coming up, it's tucked up against the wall again. So here, my hallways, I was thinking to make them 3 blocks wide. Here you still have 2 blocks for a hallway, which is plenty substantial. So we can have a door leading into a room over here. And we can have all of the rooms sitting along that wall, probably one at the end of the hallway as well. I think that works out pretty nicely. Coincidentally, I did do a little bit of planning, trying to figure out the column spacing. But the staircase I did not plan beforehand. This just happened with me taking into consideration that the wall does step in. Anyway, that's a progress update. So I'm gonna get back to it. I'll bring you. Oh, before I get back to it, where this wall steps in, I want to. Whoop! Oh, dang it! Let me run around. I want to explain why a certain portion of that wall has stripped birch logs, while the rest has stone. Because that might confuse some of you. It would confuse me if I didn't know what was going on. These logs on this level are only where they would be visible, because over here I was intending to step it in with stairs, and on this face as well. So from the outside you would not see these blocks, just on this level. As we go higher, they become visible again, and they would remain visible going over these, but this stone would not be visible from the outside. Thus, I do not intend to waste my precious logs. And yes, in this stage of this world, logs are a lot more precious to me than stone, because I can go and mine stone very easily with a silk touch pickaxe. But it's a bit of a hassle to chop down trees, especially birch trees, because they don't yield a lot. Anyway, so yeah, that's the plan. Whoops, that's the plan. So I've now brought you back for a little progress update, and I'm going to jump right back into it, keep smashing out some things, and then I'll bring you back for another progress update in a little bit. So, progress has been made, and thus we're having a report. There it is, way back there. I kind of like how it's looming over the starter house. Doesn't get lost in the background quite as much. It's massive though. It really is big in comparison. We're gonna have to build some more big buildings in this village. Otherwise this thing is going to stick out like a sore thumb. But yeah, there it is. Oh, this was a test. I need to take it out again because I don't really like it. I kind of like how this turned out. It's a pleasant enough alternative. As you can see, I did some texture variation, not over the top. Just some stone brick worked in there, and I think it works quite well. The windows being wider than normal, I think isn't a bad thing. Also works quite well. We're starting down here, and I think this worked out extremely well. Right, we've got probably a master bedroom over here and a kid's bedroom over here. Realistic enough. Then we've got a living room space and a kitchen space. And we'll do the interiors as well, don't worry, we'll get there. Back into the foyer, up the stairs, and then wham! Suddenly there's something upstairs. These windows, I think, work from the inside as well. They're quite spacious. That bothers me. I might change that, I might not change that. But I keep getting stuck on it. It looks okay, but I keep getting stuck on the damn thing. But yeah, windows are okay. I have no objections towards the windows, other than that in the 3 bedrooms, they aren't centered. But I couldn't fit in this bedroom and this bedroom with doorways each without compromising on some size. So this bedroom's window is off to one side and this bedroom's window is off to the other side. These two are mirror images of one another, and I suspect that their interiors will also become mirror images of one another when we get there. Not too far off, we will get there. But yeah, there's a little progress update. I actually wanted to figure out how to build the wagons before I brought you this progress update, because that's what I wanted to do in this clip. But I've completely forgotten to go and figure that out, so here's your progress update. I don't hate it. It's very big though, so it definitely will need some buildings to either side of it, and probably to the back as well, to just bring the scale back down. Otherwise, I might as well have built a tower back there. But yeah, progress update. Over and done with for now. I'm going to go and figure out how to build those wagons so that I know exactly what I want to do over here. And then I will be right back with you guys. Okay, we're back. Nothing's changed in the building. I've just been in a creative testing world and I played around and I built a couple of different types of carts. And I think that this should be all that I need to build 2 different variations of them. And I was correct earlier. They did work out to be 5 blocks wide each. So I'm going to build them facing that way. And we're going to see how that works for us. I think it should be okay. But, you know, if it ends up not working, if you guys say in the comments that, listen, this is really not working for us, then I change it. Simple as that. Okay, so, first off, I'm building some wheels. And yes, that is supposed to be the axle. I know it is off center. But bear with me. Once we're done, you won't even notice it. I assure you. Okay, coming forward a little bit. These are small carts, right? They will probably... Well, they only have 2 wheels. Not probably. They only have 2 wheels. And both variations that I'm going to be building only have 2 wheels. They're quite similar to one another, these variations that I'm building, although they are not exactly the same. And they were based off of the same frame, I guess one could say. I'm just going to call it frame. So they're very simple. They don't look perfect, but this is Minecraft and things don't necessarily look perfect in Minecraft. That is supposed to be another one of these. So that is, for the most part, the base of our wagon. Not for the most part. I don't know why I keep saying that, but this is the base of our wagon. Now we begin to make it look a bit funkier. The intention is that these wagons can hold something, although because of the scale they won't be holding much. And that's sad, but unfortunately it is true and it is Minecraft. So we make peace with it. Okay, so I think that is our first wagon. Now this wagon, I think, will hold some hay bales. This one needs to be like that. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's pretty good. One thing that makes it a little bit more realistic is that because this wagon only has 2 wheels, it needs pegs at the front so it doesn't fall forward. But that, I think, is a perfectly adequate little wagon. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this one. I'm going to build another one, which is pretty much the same thing. Actually, you know what? Let's build it one forward so that they don't line up perfectly. Let's not make the same mistake we made with the fishing hut and our blacksmith. See, so now they're just slightly off center from one another. There we go, axle and wheels, done. There we go. It also has the slabs protruding forward, but in this one, purposefully, it does not have the full block at the front. I know some of you might be frowning and saying, but what was the point then? The point was, I felt like it. I want them to be a little bit different. I want them to look like they're based off the same design, but like they were built by different manufacturers, right? And the only point behind that is for a bit of variation. I don't want the exact same carts, two carts standing next to one another. I want them to look different. I want them to look like, you know, maybe they come from different places, or they were built by different people for different purposes maybe. Now, despite them being basically exactly the same size, they would be different carts. Okay, so this wagon, I feel, should be carrying some chests. Whoops, did not want to jump off of there. And these chests can contain whatever. They can have loot in, treasures or things, anything. And this is where this trapdoor comes in, so that even the chair looks a bit different on the two. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's break that off. And then one final touch, just to make them, you know, one little extra bit that sets them apart. A little bit of decoration on the sides. That doesn't have to be anything necessarily, it's just some variation in the two. And I quite like that. So that's going to be our two carts, our wagons. And as the sun sets, I'm going to cut here again and probably have a bit of dinner. And then I will be back with you guys shortly. Okay everyone, we're back. And I think we're going to finish off this episode with a quickish little roof over our wagons. I do think that they need some form of covering, that the inn would supply that, some protection. In the last clip, as I rewatched, I noticed that I forgot to put these pegs in for this wagon. They're in now, and I changed this wagon's peg to having just one peg instead of the two, just for a bit more variation. Anyway, what I was thinking for this roof, to cover our wagons, is quite simple. I've gone and added a bit more grass in here, just so I have room to build it, and I'll terraform it properly between episodes. But I was thinking, Creeper, hello Creeper, where did you come from? I had another creeper randomly spawn on me. I wonder if underneath this tree is dark enough for them to spawn. Bye-bye skeleton. Let's just place a torch. I'll have to come and chop down the tree at some point then if it's that dark. Anyway, I was thinking a simple monopitch roof that starts low on the right and rises up towards the left. That'll also help break this facade of this building a little bit, so it's not quite so flat, because that is a bit of a problem for me. Anyway, so let's go ahead and say 1, 2, 3. On 4 we could 1, 2, 3 on 4, 1, 2, 3 on 4, 1, 2, 3 on 4. I think that's where it was. This is quite far past this one though. I would like to have it about here, I think. In which case 1, 2, 3 doesn't work. So I wonder, does it work better? Actually, let's just do this. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on 14. That is annoying because that number I don't think is dividable by anything. 4. But if we count that block, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. There. I should have counted this out beforehand. Sorry, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? That's fine. It can be one further. I don't mind that too much. Okay, and then I think it should line up with the columns of the building as well. Okay, so that's going to be what encompasses our wagons, right? What I was thinking is that this needs to be obviously taller than our wagons. So I'm going to make the lowest point 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks tall as the highest point of our wagons. There we go. And then we can start to put in the frame of our roof. Now it needs to be a very gradual gradient. So I was thinking we could go 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this should be right over that one, yeah. So then we just give it one little end cap on this side. We come over here. And yeah, I think that'll be fine. I don't dislike that. I think we can go with this. So that then means that we need to bring all of these up by 3. There we go. And I'm going to do this similar to how we did the fishing hut. I don't think it's going to be quite as neat as the rest of the building is. I also don't think that it's going to have a framework throughout. I don't think it's necessary. And we're quite lucky that that works out perfectly. I would like to try something else. Let's go ahead and grab some dark oak. I think I have some dark oak slabs here, yeah. Since it doesn't have the framework all around, right, like the rest of the roofs have, it does need a support of some sort. And this, I think, could represent a cross beam from there to there. I think that works okay. We could also put one in here. And then the planks that are laying on top of this, the actual roofing, would then just rest from there to here. I think that makes sense for the most part. Of course you're going to go ahead and collide with that thing. Of course you are. Let's get rid of it. And let's do that instead then. Yeah. Let's go ahead and sleep. And then for the rest part, I'm just going to add in a bunch of spruce slabs on top of this at the same gradient as this thing. So I'll do that off camera and then I'll be right back with you guys to finish off this video. There it is. I thought it fitting to end this episode the same way we started it, on a horse. I think that looks pretty grand, folks. It looks big, it looks like people will see it. It's the first thing that you see coming in from the south. The wagons look pretty good. I like them. The roof, the unneatness of the roof works. The building is big, it's imposing. You can see it from everywhere, exactly what you want from an inn. Everyone is going to be using it. Well, all of the travelers and traders will be using it. I like it. I think it's been a successful day. It took a long time and it depleted my resources of spruce and of stone, but I think it's wonderful. I really like it. Thank you all for joining me in this endeavor. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, and remember, the next video is our 10th episode. A bit of a grand special. I've got something planned for the 10th episode, and I hope to see you all there. Thank you all for joining me. See you next time.